my first wish celebration that I went to was a boy who was getting a fishing boat. And I had to go, we were out there. It was so exciting. I had to go stand behind my car and just cry for a little while. But he fished with his granddad every day. That was one of the things that he was able to do. And they stood on the bank of the lake every day and fished. And now they were going to get to go out on the lake.
Yeah.
And it's just, you don't understand. It's transformative and it's powerful for every single person in the family.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Hustle on Purpose. My name is GT Ikard, and today we have a very special guest, Anna Simpson. Anna, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Reached out to you because you're what is your title on the board?
I am the chairman of the Central Arkansas Regional Board for Make-A-Wish Mid-South.
Perfect. Yeah. Make-A-Wish is an organization that I've loved for a long time. Worked as a wish granter, and it's just an incredible thing, granting wishes of children with illnesses and making those things happen. It's a wonderful organization. I don't think it's new to a lot of people, but just wanted to kind of spread the word or put it back in front of some more people just because it is such an amazing thing.
Right. One thing that I've found that's interesting since I've been involved is everyone's heard of Make-A-Wish, right? Like you see it, Michael Jordan, John Cena, all these big names are involved, but it seems when you see it in the media so large, and a lot of people don't realize, no, there's Make-A-Wish right here in Central Arkansas, and there's kids that go to school with my kids and kids that live in my neighborhood that we're granting wishes to as well. And so I think that that's one thing I've noticed, that people, they've definitely heard of it, but don't really realize they can make a difference through Make-A-Wish right here at home.
Right. Yeah. So Make-A-Wish Mid-South, if someone wants to make donations or whatever to Make-A-Wish, it's like you can do it to your area and really make sure that money is going to impact children that live in your community.
Correct. Yeah. It's incredible. So Make-A-Wish Mid-South encompasses the whole state of Arkansas and West Tennessee, so essentially Memphis, and then northern Mississippi. And so it's really neat though, because they have different groups of people in place, like Central Arkansas Regional Board. So we're raising money to grant wishes in Central Arkansas. Then we've got a Northwest Arkansas Regional Board, and they're raising money up there to grant wishes up there. And then we've got the Associate Board in Memphis, and they're raising money to grant wishes there. And so it's kind of a joint effort, to make sure that money being raised is granting wishes right here in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great time to, one of the big reasons I wanted to have you on is to kind of plug the biggest fundraising event of the year for the Make-A-Wish Mid-South branch.
Yeah, chapter.
Yeah. Is the Evening of Wishes, October 7th.
Right.
That's 2023, the year we're filming this.
Yeah.
And it's an outstanding event. Got a lot of corporate sponsors and a lot of even just individuals that have been donating money to that, because all of that money goes to grant wishes for children with illnesses, right? And one of the big things that I loved about Make-A-Wish when I was really looking to start working with an organization that was doing great things in my community, one of the reasons I settled on Make-A-Wish, frankly, was because looking at how much of every dollar donated actually goes to granting wishes, right? Because with charitable organizations, a lot of times comes, I guess you'd call it like a misappropriation of that funding. Right. We've all heard some of the horror stories and whatever. I don't want to misquote the stat, but I think at the time, this has been 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was like 88 cents of every dollar given to Make-A-Wish goes directly to granting wishes.
Yeah, I think that number is still pretty accurate. That was one of the things I loved the most as well. A few months back, Make-A-Wish was actually in the top trusted nonprofits in the whole country. And I think that is one thing that I agree makes them really special, is when you say you're donating to grant a wish, like your money is actually granting that wish. And so, I think you've actually been you have been involved with Make-A-Wish a little bit longer than I have, just from being a wish granter and stuff. It just kind of fell into my lap.
Yeah.
About 4 years ago, I was, my family owns a catering company, and we were catering Evening of Wishes, and it's funny thinking back now that 4 years ago on a day in October, I wasn't just so busy. But for some reason that day, I wasn't slammed. And so I reached out to someone at the office. I'm not sure who it was. And said, hey, like, I have some free time today. If you guys need help setting up, I don't mind coming a few hours early. And so I got there that day to help set up, and then I still haven't left. So that's kind of
an amazing story. Yeah. It's worth mentioning it because Make-A-Wish is not so overhead heavy. There's a huge reliance on that volunteer work. And one of the other things that really helped me stay involved with Make-A-Wish is there's a way that they can use you if you're willing and able for just about any kind of like time commitment, skill set, whatever. When I first started, I was working in insurance sales, and my schedule was very flexible. Wish granting was way more feasible for me. It's become less so with I run a couple of businesses, do things like this podcast.
Right.
I've got 3 kids under 5 years old. There's just a lot of commitments that make it hard to do that job the justice that it deserves, right? Because you get to do a lot of really great, really fulfilling things. Wish granting parties, like planning these parties where you get to tell this kid that their wish has been granted, and it's usually like a surprise thing, and all their family and friends come, and it's a wonderful, great, fulfilling experience. But as that became more difficult for me to do, there was other ways for me to get involved. So I think there's really no reason for anybody to not be involved with Make-A-Wish in some type of way, even if it's just mailing in a small check, a big check, whatever, when you can, volunteering some of your time. They will find, there's always a need. There's all kinds of roles they can give you. Airport greeters. I know some people love that.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids travel and fly. And Make-A-Wish loves to give them the full great experience. So they have airport greeters. A lot of these people, these families haven't traveled before.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes Make-A-Wish is providing these families with suitcases.
Right.
Because they've never traveled.
Several. That happens more than you would think, actually.
Yeah. And navigating an airport is a difficult thing, even when you've traveled quite a bit.
Right. And especially when you're traveling with a child who has some form of critical illness, there's always an extra little element there. So yes, there's a way to get involved no matter what. That's something I think is incredible too. Just all the different people I've met through Make-A-Wish, just from different backgrounds, walks of life. I know we just recently got someone on our board who's bilingual, and that's been a huge help. I got involved right before COVID, and during COVID, we lost a lot of our volunteers. It's just one of those things. There was nothing going on. You lose interaction and contact with people. People moved. People get new jobs. All of that, and so we're really working right now to build back up our volunteer base. And it's just little things that until the situation comes up, we didn't realize we were missing that specific person and that specific, characteristic that they had. And so we're really, right now, we're really in need of volunteers, wish granters, airport greeters, all the things.
Yeah. Yeah. And it makes sense to lose volunteers in that time, and everybody was scrambling, and people had kids that couldn't go to school anymore. Schools were shutting down, and the job market's been crazy. I think everybody gets it. Life has been weird and chaotic, and the normal has just become odd. But kids don't stop getting these illnesses. Right. And it's, when you really look at it through that lens, it's kind of a lame excuse, right? Because you're like, okay, kids are still getting these serious illnesses. They're still affecting these families in a drastic way. And when there's great organizations like Make-A-Wish really trying to help those families and make an impact, one of those things too is like Make-A-Wish, through their connections, they can just give these families a better, like if the average wish costs what, $8,000. If I personally was like, I want to help this family in need, like that's great. Like I can do that, and I can spend $8,000 and send them on a trip or whatever. it won't come close to the experience that Make-A-Wish can give them.
Right.
Because this is what they do.
Right.
Right. Like they're the professionals when it comes to giving these, not only the children, but their entire immediate family a great experience. The most common question I get asked is, GT, how do I get started in real estate investing? My go-to answer is to go talk to Robbie Cole at Benchmark Home Loans. Robbie will help you figure out the best loan option for you in your current situation and help you with that long-term planning as well. He gives out free advice 7 days a week, and he would love to help you. So if you're one of the people that's been afraid to start that conversation, I encourage you to stop right now and call 501-777-9995 so that you can start your investing journey or take it to that next level. Once again, that's Robbie Cole at Benchmark Home Loans, 501-777-9995.
Right. My sister is a nurse, actually. And I remember when I was first getting involved with Make-A-Wish, just one of those days where you just feel a little defeated. And I was telling my sister, I said, is this what I should be doing? Is this the organization I should be putting like so much time and effort into? I was like, sometimes it just feels like should I be, knocking on people's doors, like for research and other things like this? And my sister said, Anna, no, you don't understand. She was like, think about our family going on vacation and how much goes into it. And she's like, and all of that is done for you. She's like, you don't understand the power of the wish, not just for the child, but for the whole family, that it's truly just a break. And not even if it doesn't always have to be a trip. My first wish celebration that I went to was a boy who was getting a fishing boat. And I had to go, we were out there. It was so exciting. I had to go stand behind my car and just cry for a little while. But he fished with his granddad every day. That was one of the things that he was able to do. And they stood on the bank of the lake every day and fished. And now they were going to get to go out on the lake. Yeah. And it's just, you don't understand. It's transformative and it's powerful for every single person in the family. And so I think that was when I was really like, you know what? No, you're right. It matters. And it's just, those families deserve that break and all the things that are going on and taking care of everything. Yeah. And so it's really, I've just been so just blessed to be a part of it because it's just really powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. And hearing from all the doctors, medical professionals, they're just like, they've seen the positive lasting impact on, the kids and the families. Yeah, I would say I got into Make-A-Wish for the kids, and this is a little just probably selfish, and then I also became a parent myself. And it's I feel like I got into Make-A-Wish for the kids and stayed in it for the families. Right. Because you get to a place where you really start empathizing with some of these parents. I can't put myself in the shoes of the sick kids as much because I was fortunate enough to have a very healthy childhood. Right. But you start looking at these parents and, every situation's different, but a lot of them are racking up medical bills and you've got multiple kids and one of them has this serious illness. You have to give them so much of your time and attention. There's other children that are now not getting that time and attention. I mean, if you have a young child with one of these critical illnesses, it is a family thing. And Make-A-Wish just does an incredible job, you mentioned, of really giving the family an incredible experience. Absolutely. And sometimes it's just a little bit of a break and you didn't have to plan all these things.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, it's an incredible organization. I hope that even if you know about Make-A-Wish, if you're listening, if you're watching, now you know a little bit more. They're doing these things locally in your area. You can find a way to give, whether it's your time, whether it's financial, to support sick kids in your area. Absolutely. And if you're in Central Arkansas, come out to Evening of Wishes. We've got tickets and there's all kinds of fun things that are going to be happening.
Yeah,
there's
it's coming up.
And live music.
Yeah, October 7th. 6 p.m., the Chenal event venue out in West Little Rock. You can go to the Make-A-Wish Mid-South website, which is wish.org/Mid-South. And you can go to the events tab and get connected with Leslie, who is our development officer here in Little
Yeah.
Rock.
Leslie's
and,
great.
Yeah, get tickets through her, and it's a great night. We always have so much fun. Our goal is about $150,000, so we've got big goals and big dreams for Evening of Wishes. So we're real excited about it.
So many wishes being granted, and you can also reach out to us. Just figure out find the email, leave a comment on the video. I mean, anything. Don't let contacting somebody be the hurdle, because we'll get back with you. And we've had a couple of podcast guests that have donated things for the event. Guillermo's Gourmet Coffee gave us this gift basket.
Yeah, they're always big supporters of Make-A-Wish. We appreciate them. They do coffee for us, typically at the Radiothon. Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah, they're great people. We are lucky to have them in Central Arkansas, that's for sure.
Yeah, James has been on the podcast, and I went to high school with him.
Oh,
and
awesome.
He's just an awesome dude. So hooked us up with a gift back. Count Porcula gave me a gift card for a bunch of barbecue. Somebody wants it, so I'm gonna get that too.
I haven't been to the new brick and mortar, but love the food
you
truck.
got it at Rail Yard.
What?
You had it at Rail Yard.
Yeah.
So they've got 2 brick and mortar locations, one at the corner of Cantrell and Mississippi, and one on Maumelle Boulevard.
Oh, okay.
If you go to the one on Maumelle Boulevard, ask for Bones.
Bones.
He's a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And he'll
Bones, coming at you.
Just be like, Bones, GT sent me.
Okay.
That's for anybody that's listening. Just be like,
yeah.
Because Bones would love that. He's the GM over there. His name's Taylor Hart.
Okay.
We just called him Bones for forever.
That's funny.
It's a long story. But, okay. And while I have you too, I want to talk about Gina's Catering. So your family owns and operates Gina's Catering in Benton.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's right.
How long has that been going on?
So my mom is Gina, and she started Gina's Catering in 2012. So we just finished our 11th year. She got started in the summer of 2012. I was in college in Fayetteville at the time, and my mom told me that she was going to open a catering company, and I thought she was having a mental breakdown.
Right, you're nuts.
And so I called my dad, and I was like, Dad, Mom told me that she's going to open a catering company. My dad said, yeah, I think we're going to go look at a building soon and maybe sign a lease.
You're like, so you both lost it.
I was like, okay, all right, fine. So Dad thinks this is normal too. So called my sister, and I'm like, Sydney, like, Mom's opened a catering company. She's like, yeah, I think she's going to do it. And I'm like, okay, so no one here is concerned, only me. All right, I'm just going to hang up the phone. I'm going to go back, do college things, and I'll just talk to you guys later. Yeah. Next thing I know, she's got a catering company. We're signing a lease, and here we go. And I got to give it to her. She's done a good job in the last 11 years. So it's been pretty incredible to watch as a child, to see your parent go for it and succeed. She was, most people don't chase their dreams in their 40s, but she did. And,
what was she doing before?
Well, she was kind of, I always say she was a stay-at-home mom. She really wasn't, but we moved around a lot when I was growing up. Okay. So she was a real estate agent, and then she worked at the highway department for a little while when we moved to Bryant, and just all kinds of different things. But she didn't have a career, I wouldn't say. Right. And so, but she has one now.
Went for it. And figured it out.
She did.
I love that, because it's Make-A-Wish was one of the reasons I wanted you on, but Gina's Catering was the other one, just because I'm always fascinated hearing, and the story, the more of the, these businesses I learn about, the more it makes me feel better, because I always feel like I take these leaps and just try to figure it out. Right. And it feels, I have people that question my sanity, and rightfully so a lot of times. But it makes me feel not so alone and weird, because I'm like, that's how a lot of these great things happen. Right. And you just keep trying to do the next right thing. Right. And here you are 11 years later, and your mom is doing great, and to have a restaurant, catering business, whatever, last for 11 years is a massive accomplishment. Yeah, it really is. That's a crushing success by any metric. Yeah. Because, I just can't imagine the sleepless nights and the hard times and the sacrifice. But you figure it out, right?
Yeah. And she did. It was, you know, it was a lot at first when she still works a lot, but it, you know, you just gotta dive in sometimes, and she really did. And it's funny, she'd never worked in a restaurant, never worked in the service industry. She didn't go to culinary school.
Yeah. Was she a good cook?
Yeah, that's what everyone always asks. They're like, so you grew up like having the best dinners ever. And I'm like, I mean, my mom made like spaghetti and meatballs like everyone else's mom, you know? So I'm like, I mean, I get, it was good, but it wasn't like.
You should open a restaurant.
Right. It was like we were having like all this filet mignon and all, you know, all these different appetizers before dinner. Like, no, we ate what everyone ate, you know? And so that's why I think at first I was like, what in the world?
You're like, really?
I'm like, are you like, can you even actually, are you a good cook? You know, like no offense, but she is, and she does. And I will say too, one thing, I loved growing up in Bryant. I love everybody in that community, Saline County.
Everyone.
Right. Yeah, it's probably asterisk by that part. But I really have to give it to the community of Saline County. Like they really embrace it. My mom did know a lot of people. She was a substitute teacher a little bit. My sister and I were both active in different clubs at school, sports. So we did know a lot of people, but the people of Bryant and Saline County really like wrapped their arms around her. And from day one, they were like, if you're selling it, we'll buy it. And so that did help. It's nice to have that many people supporting you from day one. And so it's been incredible though, just to see. Sometimes I still can't really believe that she's doing it, but she is.
I saw a guy talking about almost that exact concept. And he was like, you know, if I'm your friend, I'm your family, I'm your whatever, I'm your neighbor, and I have a business, no matter what it is, it's like, I'm not asking you to be a customer for life. Like I'm asking you to try it once.
Right.
I'm asking you to support me one time.
Right.
You know, if I'm in financial services, it's like, try me for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days.
Right.
You know, like give it a shot is all I'm asking.
Right.
Because a lot of times, I mean, it's like you can make a drastic difference in the success of a young, budding, small business just by sharing a Facebook post.
Right. That's right. Just a like on Instagram helps.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous and everyone's like, you know, even I'm on the YouTube stuff, I'm like the video, whatever. But it's like, man, I'm asking you because it really does help. It helps. Like it may seem like an insignificant thing or whatever, but if you know somebody that has a local business and you have the opportunity to shop local, I mean, that I've talked about on here before. It's like that money may have helped send you through college or whatever. Right. But like that money, you know, Gina is going to go buy her ingredients from someone else around here. And like, you know, it helps that money circulate in our local economy like it used to, as opposed to just like shipping it off to Bezos or whatever. Like I still buy stuff on Amazon. Right. You have to.
And I think too, one thing I've noticed too, it's like, you know, when your kids' sports teams or you're part of an organization like Make-A-Wish, the first people that you go ask for things are small businesses. And it's because you know those people personally. And so, you know, if you're going to ask, you know, we get asked all the time for things and we do as much as we can. But if you're going to ask for this, and this, you could also like us on Facebook, share our post, or buy a pan of chicken spaghetti, you know? And so it's one of those things like people, I think sometimes forget, like small businesses are the first people to get asked, because it's not like going to Walmart and they're like, well, let me pass you to this person. Let me pass you to this person. If you walk into Gina's, you're going to get me and my mom, and you're going to ask us because you feel comfortable. Right. You know, and so that's one thing I've noticed too. And I try and remind myself that when I am, you know, soliciting auction items for Evening of Wishes, like, do I pay it forward to these people? Yeah. You know, do I spend my own money here? And so.
Yeah. It's great because you just don't know what impact you're making by doing that. Right. But it's like, it's drastic.
Yeah. And it's hard. Like everyone knows everything's more expensive right now. And like, it's hard, but you know, you just got to keep on keeping on.
You just keep figuring, do the next right thing.
Exactly.
Right? It's like,
exactly.
It's like, you know, my thing is like, I might fall. I just want to fall forward.
Right.
Like things go wrong. I make mistakes business wise. Stuff hits the fan all the time. It's like, are we stumbling in the right direction?
Right.
And like, hopefully you are.
Right.
So you work at Gina's now?
Yeah, I do full time. At first, when I was a junior in college, or the summer between junior and senior year of college, is when my mom opened, and I was not going to help.
Right.
And then when I graduated college, I was like, help my mom get her feet off the floor. And it was about, I don't know, I was working for her. And probably like a year into me working for her or something, one of my best friends from college, Jamie, she was like, okay, are we gonna admit that you're working for your mom? Or like, are we just gonna call it what it is? And I was like, okay, I think you're right.
I'm not ready to label it. Yeah.
Right. I was like just helping her out for a while. I have a degree in kinesiology, it's like not even close to remotely what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so, but it's funny though. It's just, I didn't really think that was what was going to happen, but it just did. And so, yeah.
When it comes to planning and goal setting, I was kind of the same way, like late high school, early college, I was going to be an architect. And that was it. There was no plan B. Went to Fayetteville, was in architecture school. I am obviously not an architect now. But I did that program for 2 years, and it's wild. It's wild. Freshman year, first semester of freshman year, I was taking 32 credit hours a semester.
Yeah.
That's like double
what
everyone else was
doing.
It was wild.
Yeah.
But anyways, and so like when that didn't work out, there was like no plan B, and I was just like, what am I going to do? And my goal setting kind of changed into less 10-year plan and more like 3 to 6 month plan.
Right.
It's very much just like what's the next right thing? Because I think you set some of those like really firm goals, and it's like disappointment happens when expectations aren't met. Right. So it's like my expectations are a little bit more freeform, and it's saved me from a lot of disappointment.
Yeah.
I say all that to kind of relate a little bit to like, the plan was never to like work for your mom.
Right.
But like a lot of amazing things can come from working in the family business.
Absolutely.
And like, you don't, as a young college graduate, you probably can't really like see it.
Right.
And how that's going to like play out in your life. But now I'm sure you can look back and it's like, oh, it's a good thing.
Oh yeah. I've gotten to meet a lot of great people.
Yeah.
It's been great. And one reason we are so lucky too, and I think one of the things that helped just the success of Gina's is that we are lucky enough that we have been able to keep most of our employees for a while. And I know in the service industry, a lot of times that's one of the hardships, is that just the turnover rate is pretty high. And we've just been really fortunate that our employees have been with us for a while. At this point, I think our newest employee has already been with us for like 3 years.
Wow.
And so it's just a testament to the people that work for us.
Yeah.
They've bought into Gina's Catering and what we're doing. And that's really nice too. I think a lot of like restaurant owners, and that's like a stressor on them, people calling in and all of that stuff. And we've got a good crew of people that show up for us. And so that's really, I think, been one of the keys to our success as well, is the people behind Gina,
Yeah.
And so that's been incredible.
That is amazing. Just because I'm curious, because it's a catering business, not necessarily like a restaurant. You can go into the storefront and buy refrigerated and frozen meals and stuff, because that's what I was telling you. I've had like pounds and pounds of this spinach dip and pita chips.
Spinach dip for everyone, yeah.
But I just imagine with a catering business, it's more of just like, do you have any like rough idea of just like how many pounds of food y'all make a week?
Oh, like me? No, because I don't work in the kitchen.
Right.
No, but I know
it's got to just be in a like incredible amount.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know. The pounds of potatoes is up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly have no clue.
My brain just goes immediately to like I purposely am in a business where like the logistics are pretty dumb. Like I'm in real estate, like rent houses. So it's like, I'm not having to, have truckloads in and truckloads out and like, countless invoices, like all my stuff on the administrative side is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
say that Megan sits here and she handles all that. And like, I think it's pretty straightforward, but
Megan's like, no, it's not.
Megan's like, the reason I hired Megan in the first place was for utilities. Like if I had a complaint, it would just be utilities.
That's
so in
funny.
central Arkansas,
Right.
just in Pulaski County,
Right.
there's 12 municipalities and they all have their own utility companies.
Right.
And it's just an absolute nightmare.
Right. Right.
Anyways,
Yeah.
that's a big tangent, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, I can just empathize a little bit with, man, there's got to just be like truckloads of potatoes coming
Especially
in.
this time, we've hit, fall busy season. It's just insane.
Yeah.
And starting this time of the year, we'll get a truck in from Benny Keith almost every day. Just, we don't have the space to only get one in a week because there's nowhere to put all of it. Mm-hmm. And so we've got to like cook some and get it out the door and get more in. And so we're in busy season
Yeah.
right now. And so it's wild.
Did y'all have a lot of supply chain issues during COVID and stuff like that? Like getting the food?
It was pretty difficult. We're lucky too. We buy the majority of our food from Benny Keith.
Yeah.
And our sales rep there, Tal, he has become a dear friend of ours. And he works really hard to make sure that we have what we need. And he's willing to answer calls late at night and early mornings and help us out. And so we did some things for sure, but we weren't having as many problems as people were going to Walmart.
Yeah.
For a little while there, we were selling toilet paper and we sliced our own deli meat and sold it at our grab and go takeout store so that people didn't have to go. We were selling Clorox wipes because we could still get them.
You could still get them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we definitely did see some things where it was just like, sorry, there's no chance.
Yeah.
But we were able to. Now, the other thing is that all events got canceled. So we were only needing products to come in for grab and go.
Yeah.
Which thankfully we do have that. So we were able to we didn't have to lay off any employees during COVID, which
That's
is
amazing.
incredible.
Yeah.
And
is
that's,
great.
Another testament to our customers for supporting us. But our grab and go was able to support, not having to let anyone go, which was
amazing.
nice. Yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the event canceling stuff,
Oh,
I'm sure
it was
had
wild.
to be
It was like, literally on that day in March, it was like done. Everything's done.
Yeah.
Just wild.
Yeah. And then was it like kind of a slow trickle of events coming back, or was it like?
No, it was a hammer.
Yeah.
And it's not
Because in
let
real
up.
estate, it was a hammer.
It's
like,
not let up. It's the wild. I said, I
Yeah.
don't know. I think that this busy is the new normal. We normally Q1 is slow, right? Everyone spent all their money at Christmas and then everyone's on a diet in January. And, that's usually slow. And we had this past year was the busiest
Really?
Q1 we've ever had.
Wow.
And so I just think that this is what it is now. Everything's just fast paced and going now.
It's like the roaring 20s
yeah.
of the new century.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like everything's coming back with
Yes,
a
and
vengeance.
Yes, and it's just nothing is slowing down at all. And we already can't take anything else on weekends for the rest of the year. Like
Wow.
our weekends are booked for the rest of the year.
the
I had
rest
to
of
put a
the year.
note on our website.
It's September.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Wow.
And it's just we just don't even have the room to put more food in the oven.
Right.
And it's just never been like that before.
Wow.
It's like people are reaching out and I'm like, I'm sorry but we can't. And it's just crazy, which it's a great problem to have, I know, but then it's also like you want to help everyone and do
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, if you want to open a catering company, today's the day.
Right. Yeah.
So I've got people I can send your way right now.
It's one of the curses of business ownership is like, even when things are good, like when things are really good, it's still a problem.
Right. Right.
But no one wants to hear you complain about how busy you are.
Right. Right.
Like
exactly.
It's like, I'm not complaining.
Right.
Like things are good.
Right.
But like, it's a problem.
Right.
Like
Right.
there's a lot of stuff that's got to get handled. I
Right.
have stuff every weekend for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Like that's,
Yeah.
and it's tough because people just don't want to hear you like, they're
Right.
glad to hear you're doing well. But
Right.
like,
Right. And then you just try and squeeze everything in, but it's like you literally can't.
right.
You know?
they're like, that's great. Y'all are doing well, but also like I have a wedding or
Right.
like whatever, like what am I supposed to do? It's
Right.
Like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Right.
Like I want to help you. Okay. So you can go volunteer at Make-A-Wish or go volunteer at Gina's.
At Gina's Catering, correct. Yeah. If you need some Christmas money, holler at me because you can cut chicken.
Yeah. Golly, I can't even imagine the chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Just so many,
It's
so
wild.
much chicken.
So much chicken, so many noodles.
Oh man. Yeah. It's like, okay, so, cooking, cooking individual meals for you as a kid wasn't your mom's strength, but maybe she's blessed at making 200 pounds of something at a time.
Mashed potatoes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We need that,
Right.
We need
That's what they call me
potatoes
in for when they need bring the big guns into the kitchen like me. They're like, you can peel those 9 pans of potatoes. And I'm like, okay, great.
I bet you've gotten pretty good at it.
Oh yeah. I'm fast. I don't get to do much more than that, but I can peel a potato now.
Golly. Yeah, man. Well, I'm excited to hear that y'all are doing so well. That's great. Like I said, if you haven't tried Gina's, go get some spinach dip and pita chips. If you need them for an event on a weekend this year, it sounds like you're out of luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. Just book
If
them
you have
for
something in January, let me know.
2024 is open. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, awesome. What did we forget?
I don't think anything. And if you haven't been involved with Make-A-Wish or had Gina's Catering, come to Evening of Wishes and you can have both.
You can have both.
You can experience
Awesome.
the power of Make-A-Wish and eat some food from Gina's while you're there.
Absolutely.
So 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have Leslie's contact info again? We'll say it one more time.
Yes. The easiest way is to go to wish.org/Mid-South. If you go on there and go to the events tab, Evening of Wishes, it has Leslie's contact information and a link on there. So
perfect.
That's the easiest way to do it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And if you want to find Gina's Catering, you
go to 5550 Village Drive in Benton.
Okay.
If you're a Saline County person, it's down Spring Hill Road. So in your mind, it's probably Bryant, but the address is Benton, one of those.
Right. Yeah.
And then you can also go to our website, which is Gina Caters, GinaCaters.com.
Awesome.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Anna.
Thanks so
This
much,
was good.
GT.
Thanks for agreeing to do this. We wanted to get this done and get this
absolutely.
podcast out before Evening of Wishes.
That's right.
And I'll just tag on there too. If you want to give anything, if you're a business, you want to do something for silent auction items, anything like that, reach out to us, reach out to Leslie, reach out to Anna. Just find us somehow, comment, do whatever you got to do. We'll track you down and get something from you.
That's right. Yep.
It's for the kids.
That's right. For the kids.
Do
always.
it for the kids. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you all for watching and listening. If you're on Spotify, you can watch us on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, you can listen to us on Spotify or anywhere else you get your podcasts. This has been Hustle on Purpose. I'm your host, GT Ikard. We look forward to seeing you next time, and hustle on purpose. Thanks for watching. If you liked that video as much as we liked making it, be sure to check out another one. You've got one here. You got another one over here. If you want to listen to the podcast audio only, go check out the Spotify link in the description. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It helps us out a ton. And please hit the bell if you want notifications anytime we drop a new video. Hope to see you on the next one.